It's February 1st and we got about 6 inches of snow last night, and it's gonna be 5 degrees tonight. But if we wait until the snow melts to get our crops planted, we're already gonna be behind. So in today's video, I'm showing you 10 crops that we're starting right now so we can have massive spring harvests. So come on, baby, let's go. Yo, 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 what up, Gromies? Welcome back to Chef's Harvest Farm. If you're new here, I'm Chef Mikey. I'm a former executive chef turned urban farmer, and I grow organic vegetables for local chefs and restaurants here in Knoxville, Tennessee. So it's February 1st today, and we got about 6 inches of snow last night. Right behind me, we've got our high tunnels where we planted our 5 crops in January. I'll go over that real quick. I'll show you what we got going on in the nursery in here, and then I'm going to take you inside and show you all the crops that we've planted this week and what we're going to be planting next week that we've got going under the grow lights. When as soon as this snow melts, we're going to bring it out here, get 2 beds planted in this high tunnel, and I got 5 empty beds in the other high tunnel over there. We're gonna get this stuff planted in February as soon as possible. So if y'all are interested in the outer gear that I wear, these products will be tagged right here. You can check them out. I wouldn't work outside without this gear, and I found the hat too. So a lot of people ask me for the hat. So if anybody wants to pick one up, you can check out these links right here and help support the channel. Thanks, guys. All right, so it's been super cold lately in general. Like, we had a little bit of a warm spell, and we got 4 beds planted in here. So we had 2 beds of arugula planted in the center, a bed of turnips over here, and then a bed of carrots right here. The carrots haven't germinated yet, I don't think. And so then it snowed last night. It's going to be 5 degrees tonight, which is actually really good that it snowed, because it like seals up all the edges where typically like that really cold air can still get up under there. But inside the tunnel, I'm not going to open it up because I don't want to break that seal to show you, because it's going to be so cold tonight. I'm feeling pretty confident. So far so good. We've made it through all these cold nights. I checked it out before, got the snow and everything was looking good in there. It's all sprouted, kind of like this big, just get started. But if we make it through this cold snap, it'll really start taking off soon. So I've got like 4 frost blankets of Ag 50 pulled over the hoops inside the tunnel to give it maximum amount of insulation inside the high tunnel with the edges closed, sealed up with snow. I feel pretty good about it, but say a prayer and we'll check on it in the next week or 2. I'll show you how everything did. So come on, let's go check out the nursery. I'll show you how we've set that up so that we can bring our crops out from under the grow lights to harden off before we plant them over here. I've got an empty high tunnel right here. We're gonna cover crop that for a project that we're working on with Ben Hartman. It's gonna be cool, so make sure you're subscribed for that. We've got 5 empty beds in that high tunnel over there, so we'll be planting these crops under the grow lights in there, and then 2 empty beds in that high tunnel also next to our overwintered kale, which has frost blankets pulled over it. All right, so we've got like some goals to set up some actual like nursery tables in here this year with flood tables and hook it up to irrigation so it kind of can like bottom water all the trays and recycle out. It's a goal. I'll make a video about it if we get there, but we're just kind of not there yet. And so we set this bench back up so that we can harden our seedlings off from the grow lights before we plant them out. So as soon as it warms up, we got like some regular temps next week. It's going to be in like the 40s and 50s with lows around 30, which is perfect. So we put the hoops here so we can just pull the Ag 50 over the hoops to protect our seedlings in the nursery. It's an unheated tunnel on some of those cold nights, and then we'll get them planted as soon as possible. So come on, I'll take you in and I'll show you the grow lights and everything we got going in there. All right, so this is the basement of my house, and we just have it set up as like an indoor grow area. So I've got wire racks here. They're all on wheels so we can move them pretty easily. And all these bar lights that we're using are Barina T8 LED grow lights. I've got 4 of them on each shelf. We just mount them to tomato stakes, and then we hang them from these adjustable pulley systems so we can adjust the light levels. And so if you want to check out any of the grow lights that I use, you can use my code CHEF Mikey to get 15% off at barinaled.com. And the lights that I use are their T8 lights, and I'll leave links in the video description. And the same code, Chef Mikey, works at acinfinity.com too. And that's where I get my humidifiers, the oscillating fans, and I've really been into like their AI smart outlet lately. So it's like made for plants, so I can hook up, I got like heaters, humidifiers, and they all plug into the smart controller, which I can control from an app on my phone, but it also has a thermostat that hangs over here. And so if the temperature drops below a certain temperature in here, like 60, then it kicks on the heater. If the humidity drops below 50, then it kicks on the humidifier. So check that stuff out at acinfinity.com. Make sure you use my code Chef Mikey to get yourself 10% off or 15% off at barinaled.com. So these guys actually need some water, so I'll show you how we water them over here. So these are all like red butterheads that I've got on this shelf right here, and those are all green butterheads. So you've seen me how I usually like plant lettuce in the paper pot transplanter, but I've got these in cell trays, and the reason is if they get too big in the paper pot transplanter, the roots like tangle around each other. It's hard to get them to like separate properly, you know? So we're just gonna hand transplant the first round of lettuce so that I can let these get nice and big. You can kind of see how big they're already getting. And then we're just gonna hand transplant them, and then that way they just have less transplant shock, and we can transplant nice big lettuce seedlings, because once this cold snaps out, then we'll bring them out into the nursery and let them harden off out there for about a week before we actually plant them into the ground. So, you know, they're gonna be in here for a few more days. They're gonna be out there for like a week. It's gonna be 2 weeks before these get in the ground. So we're gonna have like nice big seedlings when we get started. This is like our wash pack station, and I've got like these, they're just food service trays for like restaurants, you know, cookie sheets, and they fit the trays perfect. I just fill them up with water, and I bottom water them like this. If you guys have been following along for a while, you know, like what I make most of my money off is lettuce. So we've got around like 1,800 heads of lettuce started so far down here this year. But some of this stuff I'm just growing to eat. So I just don't want you guys to think that I'm like recommending you should grow some of these for profit. So I'm gonna make it clear that some are for profit and some are just for like my like to eat, you know, because we're actually like you'll see a little bit of a change in the channel this year, I hope, as we build an outdoor cooking suite in the garden, and we're gonna start inviting chefs over to just cook like what we're growing in the garden along with other local ingredients from some of my friends. I know some really well-known chefs around here. I'll actually show you. We got a Santa Maria barbecue over here already assembled. We're about to start building it out in the garden, so I'll show you that in a minute. But anyways, you know, we're just gonna start growing some stuff so that we can host private dinners in the garden. So we're looking forward to that. So some of this stuff is just to eat basically and not for profit. So onions, I've got some bulb onions here, and those are just for us to eat. They're yellow onions. I forget the actual variety. I'll flash it on the screen. And then this is broccoli, same thing. I don't really grow broccoli for profit. Like if I have some of this stuff that's extra, then I'll definitely offer it to the chefs and they'll buy it, but it's just not super profitable crops. Like onions are something that they can just buy off the truck. I've never really found that anybody cares about local onions, you know. And then broccoli just is not really profitable for me on a super small scale like I grow on. So that's what we got on this shelf. And then down here, we have, these are just green bunching onions. So, and then I've got some dill here too. We just started these, and these will be germinated soon. So we're just growing herbs in like small amounts. I met with some of the chefs, and it's not something like, I'm not gonna grow like a whole bed of green onions or a whole bed of dill. So we're gonna chop it up into thirds and do some successions, or quarters, I guess. So a quarter of the bed dill, scallions, parsley, and cilantro. And we're just gonna hand transplant it out of the 128 cell trays for now. So we can just like kind of grow it in small amounts, you know? And then, so these are badger flame beets. and we're gonna hand transplant these. I did some beet trials in the fall, and the hand transplanted ones just came out the best. And it's we did have good success with direct seeding also, but it's just too cold out to direct seed. So we're growing these Badger Flame beets in here under the grow lights again, so we can grow them nice and big. So like we'll take them out there, harden them off over the next couple of weeks, and we'll have nice big starts going out when we plant them into the high tunnel. So then hopefully, instead of them taking like 70 or 80 days from seed to harvest, they're already going to be 45 days old when we put them in the ground. So hopefully they only take another 45 days after we transplant them from there too. So we'll be able to start making some revenue pretty quickly. Now this is not like the LED light. I actually don't like this light because it has light bulbs, and I used to have all these kind of lights in here, but it's just a pain in the butt to replace the bulbs all the time. And then I just realized, like, for what the bulbs cost to replace, I can just buy one of these LED lights from Barina, and I never have to replace them. I've never replaced any of these bulbs. They just kind of last forever. So down here I have, this is a tray of Brussels sprouts. Again, this is just for me to eat. I do not grow Brussels sprouts for profit. So they just kind of started sprouting like a couple days ago, and I got them under this light because we're just in a bind because it's so cold outside for the next few days. Once it warms up, we'll be able to take like most of this stuff out there, and then we'll start new seeds down there, and these things that are just getting started will be able to find a home under the Barina lights. And then this tray is kale, lacinato kale that we just got started. So I started these in 128 cells, and I already have like a bed of overwintered kale out there that's doing pretty good. So that's going to get us started. So we'll be able to start harvesting kale probably within a couple of weeks, but I assume it's going to like bolt. It was planted in August last year. So I've never really successfully overwintered kale like that before, so we'll just kind of see what happens. But I got new rounds of kale ready to go in the ground so we can have continual harvest. I can sell about 50 pounds of kale every single week, so it's a good money maker for us. And then this is the last grow rack that we've got. So and I just want to touch real quick. You see, I've got like tons of fans everywhere. I got them kind of turned off right now or turned on low. So I've got fans, humidifiers blowing, because when it's cold out, the humidity drops to like 20% down here. So I try to keep it up to like in the at least 50. It's always a struggle in the winter, so I always keep this humidifier going. And then the airflow. If you don't have fans everywhere, if you're trying to grow inside, you'll just grow green slimes and molds on everything, and it'll be a disaster. So fans are super important. If you're ever growing inside under grow lights, it's the most important part. So on this shelf, these are red beets, same sort of thing. So we'll get these grown nice and big so that we can transplant them outside, and they won't take very long before they're ready to get harvested. And those are for Chef Avi. So if you guys didn't see our beet planting video in the fall time where we grew some beets and took them down to Chef Avi and he showed us how he makes a beet salad using the tops and everything, I'll leave that video linked at the end of this one so you can check it out. And then down here we've just got trays of cilantro and parsley. So same sort of thing, we'll just like we're gonna plant 25% of each bed, parsley, cilantro, dill, and scallions, and we'll just do successions of herbs like that. And then this one's parsley. And then these are just 2 more trays of lettuce, but these are like the butterheads. If you watched the video where I went down and met with James Beard award-winning chef Joseph Len, in that conversation, he told me some specific butterheads that he likes to have where you can slice the head open and just put half of the head on the plate for their salad. So these are specifically for Joseph Len that we're growing. So we're pretty excited about those. But let me show you the Santa Maria grill that we're going to build out there. Let's check that out before we wrap things up. So this is our Santa Maria barbecue. that we just put together. So basically, we're gonna build like a fire pit and then just put this on top of it. And that's gonna get us started so we can kind of like see how we like the positioning and everything. And so the way it works, this sits on top of the fire, and then you can crank this to move the grill like closer or further away from the actual flames. You know what I mean? And then you can bring it closer. And then we also have like a big griddle plate. Oh. So we've got this like big cast iron griddle plate also. Oh, it's heavy. So the goal is we're gonna build like, first we're just gonna build fire pits and just kind of test it all out, right? But then we're gonna pour a concrete slab. We're gonna build like out of a combination of cinder blocks and bricks, you know, like an actual cooking station. So we'll build one side will be for this barbecue, then the other next to it will be for the griddle, where you can put like pots and pans on it, griddle things, and then we'll kind of take it from there. And then eventually the next phases are gonna be to build a smoker behind it, and then if I can make it happen, I want to build a pizza oven, but this will all be the beginning stages. We'll start with the grills, then maybe build the smoker. I think those will be relatively easy, and if I can build up that skill set, then we're going to build a pizza oven. We're going to start inviting our chef friends over, and we're going to start inviting some people we know over and have private dinners in the garden. Then, you know, that's kind of like my stepping stone, starting really small, just like I started this business, to starting my next business, which is going to be a restaurant, you know. So just like I started this farm, just did with one little box garden, you know what I mean, and I've grown it to this. I didn't just go start a farm all at once. I'm not just gonna go open a restaurant, right? I'm gonna start real small, a couple private dinners in the garden, with 2 tables, maybe a maximum of like 6 to 10 guests maximum, you know, and then just see where that leads me. And then if I could take it to the next step, then maybe eventually my goal is to open a restaurant where we just grow all this food and it just goes right into the restaurant, and I bring y'all along with me for the journey. And then I'll still probably sell some of it to my friends, you know what I mean, but the goal is to just grow our own food for our own restaurant, you know. So I've made a goal to put out a video every week in 2026, so just wanted to show you guys what we're doing first week in February with the snow, show you guys what we got going under the grow lights. And if you'd like to check out the video where we grew beets and brought them down to Chef Avi, you can check out this video right here. And if you'd like to see how I actually built this entire farm from scratch with no experience whatsoever, you can check out this video right here. I appreciate y'all for being here, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks, guys. Peace.